Welcome to part 6 of the Runabout USS Ganges build-up. Made some pretty good progress on the kit so far. This is one of the warp nacelles, and as you can see there, we've managed to get all of the parts there matching, and also on the back, so they're all smooth now. And we've also got the 2 coats of primer on the outside, and we've also had 2 coats of matte black on the inside, followed by 2 coats of grey primer. Now all I need to do is just go back over that again with matte white, just to help the light reflect around the inside. I've also gone around, it might be a bit premature really, but I've gone around and removed all the excess paint off of the gluing edges so we can get a good bond with the glue. But they're not looking too bad. So once the matte's down on the, once the matte white, I'll put my teeth back in. Once the matte white is on the inside, I can then just go back over the outside with the main colour. And then I'll be able to start getting all the lights installed. I've also been working on the corresponding wings as well. We've got all of these primered, these have had 2 coats of matte black on the inside, followed by 2 coats of grey primer. And I've also put 2 coats of grey primer on the outside of the model as well. And as you can see there, I've also removed some of the plastic for the impulse exhaust, and also on the front I've removed for the impulse intake. So the impulse exhaust, when it's on, will look like that. You can see there's a nice gap through there. I've actually gone in with, I think it was a 0.8 drill bit to drill those out, and then cut all the plastic out as far as I could with a hobby knife, and then just went back in again with my little trusty file, just to sort of, you know, basically go in and just sort of square off all the edges. So that's done and looking good. The top of the wings, I've also got those done again. That's got 2 coats of matte black, followed by 2 coats of primer, and then I've also got 2 coats of the Tamiya fine surface primer on the outside of that. The warp nacelle intakes, I've been working on those too. As you can most probably remember from the beginning video, there was a big lump of plastic, a big lump of resin sitting down there, so I've removed that, sanded all the sides down, removed all the flashing, and got those looking good. The orange intake covers, I've worked on those too. I've sanded the back side of these down to help reflect the light about, and also sorted the sides out as well. They were a little bit uneven, so I've just gone in and just sanded those down too, so they fit in there quite nicely now. So if we just get that, so that's what they look like when they're done. And then if I've picked the right one, they will just sit in that gap there like so, quite nicely, and then that will leave the orange cover on the inside there for the light to reflect. Now I will be going in on the inside with the clear plastic that I've been using. I don't think I've got any here spare. I should have really organised myself a little bit better on that one. Oh, here's a little bit. So this plastic, it's not cut to size, but this I will be using to go in on the inside there. and again I'll be doing the same technique on this as I used for the lighting panels on the inside of the resin kit. So I just sand this down and then paint over it with a couple of coats on either side of the matte varnish just to help really stop any intense light coming through to the intake. And I'll also do the same with the impulse exhaust as well. The other thing that I've been working on is panel shading. I think it's called pre-panel shading, I'm not sure. Hopefully one of you guys will be able to tell me if I'm right on that one. But what I've basically done is on this, the exterior side of the wing, I think this is the port side, I've basically gone in around all the panel lines with a pencil. Basically it's just a HB pencil, and just gone in and started to draw in along the panel lines. So hopefully by the time I sprayed the main colour down on that, that should help to bring those panel lines out. Some of the panel lines aren't as dark as others, but that's the way I wanted it. I'm not sure whether this is actually going to work or not either, so I didn't want to spend too much time sort of getting every single panel line exactly the same shade, just in case. And I thought, well, you know, different various shades of panel lines would most probably look quite good as well. So I've done that on this one. What I'll end up doing actually is doing all the panels first, even on the nacelle covers as well, where we've got the panel lines on those. I'll get the panel lines done on those as well, just so everything's even and looking the same, just in case it does work. And then, you know, hopefully it will do. Keep fingers crossed. So that's about the where I'm at the moment. As soon as I've made some more progress on this, on these parts of the kit, I will come back to you for a quick update. Made some progress on the kit. All of the panel lines are now done across all of the parts of the kit. Well, for the nacelles and their corresponding wings, so they're done now. They're just waiting. These are now just waiting for the primary colour to go on. I'm working on the nacelles at the moment. This is the starboard side nacelle. This has had the matte white sprayed on the inside, and it's also had the primary colour sprayed on too. So they're starting to look pretty good now. I just need to go in once it's all together and just put the final little bits of detail on around these little pads, and I also need to get the yellow in for these parts, and I also need to get the phaser arrays in. Now on the instructions it does actually call for a dark tan for the little phaser arrays, but to be quite honest, I'm going to do these in the dark grey. I actually do prefer them in the dark grey. Strictly not canon, I know, but you know, it's open for interpretation, so that's the way that I'm going to do that one. So I've also been working on the port side nacelle. This isn't actually together at the moment, it's just sort of loosely stuck together. We're just basically testing all the lighting on this to make sure that none of the bulbs are going to blow when I go to put it together properly. This part here, the Bizarre Scoop, I'm not sure whether I'm going to put a clear smoke over this or whether I'm going to put the clear red on it. The reason why I haven't made that decision at the moment is because when the engines are powered off, you can distinctly see that they've got like a smoky translucent effect to them, and then when they're on, they're red. So I'm not sure yet. This has just been loosely stuck in with a bit of masking tape as well, because as I say, at the moment I'm just testing. So we've got the navigation light in the front and also in the back there, and they are the 1.8mm straw hat LEDs, and then I've also got the two red ones in the front as well. I've gone for 2 red LEDs because just one on its own wasn't bright enough. I'm running those off of 670 resistors as well, so you know, I don't want to take them down any further than that because I'm kind of a little bit worried about the life of the LED. I don't want to overtax them. And we've also got the strip of 6 blue LEDs in there, and then we've also got, as you can see, the jumbled mess of wires in there. Once I'm happy with everything and that it's working as it should do, I'll just go back in there and tidy everything up before I close the lid on this. I also need to put some silicone over the top of the navigation lights, and I also need to silicone around these as well because they are letting in light. But I'll get this placed on the top here and get the power on for you so you can see what the general effect is like. It'll just take a second or so just to get this set up. Okay, so that's in there. I'll just put this on there as well. That would make it easier to see it. Okay, so here we go. Hopefully that'll go on. So there you go. So that's what it's looking like at the moment. Just zoom in a little bit for you so you can see that properly. You can see there are a few light leaks coming through the through the side of the kit. But that in itself isn't looking too bad. On the camera you can actually see it fade off to the sides. That's actually not there in person, and you can also see just there again another fade. There's, like, you can see a hot spot there on the camera, and there's a hot spot there, but really they're not there in person. They look pretty cool. What we also need to do is just go in and put a light dusting of copper over the top of those, so when it is switched off it just gives you that that added effect. But you can actually see there where we've got kind of like a mauve, a purpley mauve coming through, where we've got the blue and the reds mixing together. So I just need to get those sorted out. So that's about it for the moment, guys. As soon as this is all buttoned up, I will come back to you for a quick update. I've started to make some more progress on the warp nacelles. As you can see there, we've got some different shades of paint on there now. We've used the light grey for the little landing pads on the bottom of the nacelles, and we've also got the dark grey on these parts here for the phaser arrays that are at the end of the warp nacelles. And we've also done exactly the same with the top ones as well. We've also got the sorry, excuse me. We've also got the dark grey on the top of those for the phaser arrays. Now the ones at the top, these have got the little markings all around them, but on the underside ones they're completely flat, and I guess maybe that's because you don't really see them and they just decided to skimp out on the details on those. But these are the wings. You can just about see actually those panel lines coming through on those after they've been painted. So that's not too bad because I didn't want them sort of, you know, too in your face. But you can just definitely see that there's a little bit of detail coming through on those. So that's good. The other thing that I've been working on is the impulse exhausts for the model. Now, as you can remember, we cut out the little section for the impulse exhaust so we can get that to light up red. Now I had a bit of an idea on how I can fill those up. Rather than just using canopy glue or a film of canopy glue and waiting for that to dry and then painting it red, I went back to a little technique that I used on the Cardassian Galore type cruiser, which seemed to work. So with that in mind, what I did do was I got some of the good old Formula 560 canopy glue, put that in one of my little pots, that happens to be the lid from a deodorant can, and I then added some of the Tamiya clear red, and then also added a little bit of water in there to get the consistency of the glue down, so it was a little bit more runny, and then I just sat there and mixed that up. Now what happened is it did, to begin with, turn, it did start to curdle like cream would curdle if you're boiling it, and then after that it turned into, once I sort of got it back together again, it turned itself into a mousse, which is obviously not the right consistency that I needed for the impulse exhaust. So I just needed to add a drop of water in at a time, or a little bit of water in at a time, until such time that we got it down to a consistency where it become fairly runny. And as you can most probably see, let's try and get that in shot for you. As you can most probably see there, that's kind of still a bit gloopy, but that was enough for me to be able to start pouring that into the exhaust ports. Now what I have done with those is I've added, I'm not sure whether you're going to see it there, let's have a look, I've put some clear tape across the bottom of those, oh sorry, not clear tape, masking tape, and then there you can see we've got the window ports, oh sorry, we've got the canopy glue in there. Now this is pink at the moment, so it does look a little bit like Angel Delight. I know the guys in the UK know what I mean by Angel Delight, not sure about the guys in the US though, but we'll soon see. If you do know, let me know, it'd be interesting. So I just now need to wait for those to dry, because they are fairly deep, as you can see from there. Let's bring the camera up a bit. There you go, you can see how deep they are, and that's full right up. So that's definitely going to take a little while to dry, so I'll just leave those to one side now and get them to dry off. The other thing I've been working on is the warp nacelles, and we've got a copper wash over the top of those now. And they do actually look quite good when they're lit up as well. I've tried one as a standalone and it did work. The only problem that I have had is with this one here. Unfortunately, I snapped it right in the middle when I was trying to get this one off of the paper where I'd put the blue down to turn it over to do the copper wash. Unfortunately, it snapped, and to begin with I was bashing my head up against the wall, but then I suddenly realised, well, you can't really see that joint in there, so it's not that bad, although it will show when it's lit, which will be a shame. So what I'm going to end up doing with this one is putting this on the inside starboard warp nacelle, because that one you're not really going to see, because that's going to be facing, that's going to be at the back of the model. So because it's on the inside, you're not really going to see that well. So hopefully that should help to disguise that little oopsie daisy that I had. So that's about it for the moment, guys. As soon as I got some more work done to the wings, I will come back to you. So I've made some more progress to the wings. We've got two strips of 3 LEDs in there. So we've got this one, which is for the impulse exhaust, and then we've got this one at the front here, which is for the impulse intake. I've also put a strip of clear plastic in there, and I've treated that exactly the same as I did with the window panels in the interior kit. So I've just basically sanded that down and then put 2 coats of matte clear varnish on both sides, and then I've glued that in with some crystal clear glue. The impulse intake grill there, that was already orange, but what I've done is I've also put a couple of coats of orange on there as well, because it was looking a little bit too pale for my taste. So I've just added a couple of coats on that just to help that liven up a bit. We've also got the wires installed. Now at the moment I've got them coming through the bottom here. These eventually will go out through the top. The only reason why I've put them through the bottom here at the moment is just for testing purposes. The wires from the nacelles will actually come up through those and hook up to these wires, and then the whole lot will go up to the top or through the top and into the model. So what I'll do is I'll get the cover on for you, and then I'll get this connected to the battery, and then we'll be able to see what that looks like. So if you bear with me a second, let's just get this all connected up. These wires are purposely a bit too long at the moment. Okay, so if I can pick that up. Whoop. Okay, so there you go. That's the kind of glow that we've got now coming through then. As you can see, there's no real glare coming through, which is what I wanted. That's just nice, a nice even glow coming through. And then if we can turn this around, you'll be able to see where we've got the hole there for the impulse exhaust, which will go on there soon. And then hopefully be able to see a couple of pinpoints of light coming through there. They're holes that I've purposely drilled into the top, because I will be feeding wires through that section that will be going into the sensor dome on the top of the ship. I've decided to add that now after talking to Keith Purcell. So I will be lighting that. So I do need to get some wires running up there. So not quite sure yet how I'm going to manage to achieve that, because it's kind of a separate unit really, and it's going to need to be fed in through this wing. So yeah, it's going to be a bit dodgy, but I'm just going to need to think about how that's done. But for the moment, you know, I'm happy with the progress on that. That's looking pretty cool. So that's about it for this video, guys, because it is getting a bit long in the tooth, this one. I will come back to you in part 7, and hopefully in that video I'll be able to get the nacelles buttoned up with the corresponding wings. Until then, guys, thanks for watching, and please do take care.